Making Mackay, EDUC 2013, Assessment 1, Victoria Farron. Having lived and worked in the Mackay area for around 4 years, I have developed a strong connection to the land, riding along rough mountain ridges and through steep gullies and navigating through thick scrublands. I have gained a deep appreciation for the vast and diverse landscapes. While working on Cardown Station, a cattle property in the Lotus Creek area, I quickly became aware of the complex and confronting history of the region, particularly the impacts of colonisation on Aboriginal peoples, including violence, displacement, and loss of land. Although having held a long interest in the history of the area, I have found it challenging to access reputable and academic sources to explore this topic in depth. Throughout further research, I have developed a deeper understanding of the initial establishment of Mackay and different perspectives surrounding its settlement. This has informed my decision to explore and present the history in a way that's meaningful for young learners. Mackay was discovered by John Mackay in 1860, first discovering the Pioneer River and then the surrounding areas. John Mackay was a Scottish pastoralist explorer in search for new grazing lands. After immediately recognizing the potential of the area, he applied for pastoral runs. A pastoral run is an area of a land occupied by early European settlers for grazing before regulation by state and colonial governments. The town was founded in 1862 and later declared a port entry in 1863. Today, Mackay is a busy city that continues to grow and expand well past the waterways of the original settlement. 6 Aboriginal groups have been identified within Mackay and its surrounding areas. The Yowie people are the most dominant group. Other groups include the Wiri, Birria, Janga, Barna, and Barada. Sadly, within 8 to 10 years of John Mackay's settlement, about one half of the Aboriginal population were shot or died from introduced diseases. For years, the Yowie Indigenous group cared for the landscape that provided for them through low-intensity burns that promote plant growth and scrub clearings to prevent wildfires. Only earlier this year were the Yarrabah people allowed to have their first cultural healing burn on their country since colonisation. Many claimed we saw our country breathe. It was healing for the people as well, as knowledge on how to care for the country has been regathered and now passed on to younger generations. Although Mackay was established as a pastoral area, it soon became a sugar-dominant industry. It's unclear when sugarcane was first planted, but the Sugar and Coffee Regulations Act passed in 1864, initiating the beginning of the sugar industry, which has remained the dominant industry within the area, and Mackay is often called the sugar capital of Australia. By 1873, 23 sugar mills had been built. As a result, in the 1860s, the Pioneer Valley had a more secure economy compared to other areas on the Queensland frontier, and up until 1897, the main aim of the European settlers within Mackay was to take land away from Aboriginal people so that they could use it for its resources like pastoral, mining, and rainforest frontiers. It suggested that violence against Aboriginal people was not only carried out by the native police, but also by ordinary settlers. As frontier violence occurred, native police barracks were established. Native police were armed and mounted Aboriginal men led by European officers used by the Queensland government in frontier districts. In fact, Moore shares an unsettling story regarding the nature of the native police. In the 1960s, an Aboriginal woman was pursued by the native police, and she chose to leap off of a mountain dominated by a rocky precipice rather than face her tormentors. It is believed that her baby survived, caught on a bush shoal, rescued, and brought up by some early settlers. The area was named Black Gin's Leap, and it is later shortened to The Leap, the name by which it is still known by today. This story encapsulates the Aboriginal and European relations in the Mackay and Pioneer Valley region. However, John Mackay's relationship with the Aboriginal persons can be perceived differently. When John Mackay explored the region, he travelled with a group of men, including an Aboriginal guide known as Duke, whose knowledge of the land was essential to the success of the exploration. Through secondary accounts of John Mackay's personal journal, we get a glimpse into their journey upon discovering the Pioneer Valley region. Unfortunately, on the journey, due to malnutrition and lack of fresh water, the crew began to get sick. Duke became so weak that he was unable to swallow fresh duck and stay on his horse as they travelled. After waiting for him to get better, John stated that the stream of life had flowed. Duke passed away. He also wrote, "Although of a different race from us, the poor fellow's death was felt by us all," and the crew dug him a grave about 12 miles above the entrance of the large sandy creek known as Denison Creek. Coincidentally, Denison Creek is located within the cattle station I currently live and work on. Learning this information has created a strong emotional connection to the history of the region, highlighting the way in which the past events continue to shape, present understandings of place and identity. The establishment of Mackay reflects a complex history, shaped by both opportunity and loss. While European settlers view the region as a place for growth, development, and new beginnings, the expansion came at a significant cost to the Yarraburra people, whose land and way of knowing was disrupted. Understanding different perspectives allows for a more complex and honest representation of the past, encouraging learners to engage with history and recognize the ongoing impact of past decisions.